Okay, so all right, let's go for questions, eh? Hanford has a good one. What's Hanford's question? Looking forward to Bad Days drop. Yeah, I'll tell you what. With the Bad Days drop, isn't it ironic that during the week Wax got onto Binance, so suddenly the coin that can't be got can be got, and it'd be very interested to see what happened with that. Very, very interested. Can't wait to actually start collecting myself. I'm looking forward to getting some. When will the marquee clients be announced? Soon, mate. Socials and all the rest of it, as I've said before, are being put together. We're getting very, very close. We just have to wait for them to be ready. 5 packs of bad day packs. Yep. Do we have a set listing of the cogs in bad days yet? So how many are there?
50 plus a bonus.
Fantastic. Super adverts, yeah, they are jeepers. I think they're fantastic. There's I've had a thing since day one. I'm very anti these hand-drawn cartoon ads where they do the whiteboard things and they go, the crypto economy is flourishing. And so really wanted to make sure that we did something a bit better than that. Will you be able to buy Bad Days with RFOX?
Yes.
Yeah, what I was going to say, soon you'll be able to buy everything with RFOX. Everything. Special utility for Vault, Bad Day Cogs. I don't think it has been asked, and we will advise closer to the time. I have said before that we've got people that we're working with, and the people that you work with, lots of people have said, why don't you get like interoperability with NFTs across metaverses? And I'm saying it's not as hard technically as it is physically, based on the fact that IP licenses have rights and contracts and they're only allowed to be used in certain places. So it depends with the different IPs that we use. Will the Vault be integrated in any life simulation video games as The Sims, so that the player of the game can enter the Vault to shop for game items and real items? So that's possible, definitely, but shopping for game items and real items is 100% happening. So what we've talked about is once we go to Indonesia and Philippines and Vietnam at a local level, you'll be able to order stuff locally. So food court stuff, products, services, all to be delivered locally in your region. So that's 100% coming.
If you're from Malaysia, you can buy pineapples.
You can. Do the marquee brands have insights on how they want their shop to look? I think everybody's kind of keen to get their hands. So what we've told people is that we're creating templates, which is true, with configurable or with configurability, colors, assets, and all the rest of it. So people are just very keen to get their hands on that, and they want to start building their shops now. And we've said it's not ready for that to happen yet. You've got to wait. So the public will have the same access, and probably around the same time as well as as any of the marquee brands. So you'll be able to go in and start setting up your shops and getting it ready as well ahead of time, which is great. And I think it's fair to say, Pete, that the user, the dashboard is relatively simple to use. Any set date for the game release? I'm not going to spoil that thunder. Wait till Friday. It's very, very close now. Everything with RFOX. Love it, love it. Thank you. Today's ad was unreal. Will the Vault follow the same DBot model as other ventures? No, same model, mate. So we're already starting the process of looking for a person who can run that. Did you guys put Easter eggs in that ad? Can we look into the dates or numbers on there and see if we can find something? You can certainly do your best. Try your hardest. Does the RFOX need to be on Ethereum or BSC to buy Bad Days?
BSE.
There you go. BSC. What is coming on 1021? I'm not telling you that. Cogger utility in Vault, if not already revealed. Not already revealed, but I think people are starting to work it out pretty quickly. with the shops, you've shown them going underground. I assume they extend 3 levels deep underground instead of 3 stories high. We're actually going for space constraints. So instead of having boxed in build-ups, underground gives you the benefit of being able to have much more space. So you're probably getting more than what you would have got in a 3-story in the original concept or design, Crypto J. So they'll be big spaces.
Yeah, Crypto J, we've done away with the whole 3 levels thing. I mean, that was an earlier concept thing about 3 levels up. There's no 3 levels down. It's just a shop.
Yep. The when we started building out the 3D models, and that's why we're saying everything's concept in the beginning. When you started building it out, we realized that was the much better way to go. The designers basically said once you start modeling things, it definitely changes the perception. Will buildings look like logos in the vault? Not really. We'll show you. They'll be smaller on the outside. I think we showed you the RedFOX Labs concept design last week, and it was in the today's meeting. So that's more like
I saw that.
It's more like a cylindrical building with something on the top of it. Can we bring in Pokemon to spare the vault? I knew that would come up. Are those graphics on the actual graphics of the game? So those concept graphics for the illustration purposes to show the evergreen content, but obviously a lot of the design concepts for that came from actual assets. Is the avatar in the ad what our characters will look like? The characters, we're going to reveal that at some stage soon as well. But they're looking at doing the integration piece very shortly, so you'll be able to customize avatars. Yeah, it's a really good avatar, mate. And I think the great part about all of what we're building and doing at the moment is that the companies that are actually potential partners or people that we can work with for technology integrations are also morphing at rapid speeds. So the funny thing is, what's available today and 3 months from now can completely change. The rapid speed at which people are moving is scary. So I expect a year from now or even now that a lot of the technology that we have integrated in the vault won't actually exist at this particular point in time. And that's the good part about it. We want to make sure that there is stuff for people to come along and be able to click in their technologies and enhance it. Can we race on the track like Gran Turismo? You stumbled upon a good point there, Crypto J. There will be races, yes. Races will be great. Yeah, I keep getting asked, can other people come in and integrate stuff that is existing elsewhere? So if someone's got a car racing game or an animal racing game or whatever it is, or a Z Run or whatever, can these people come and integrate? It's a matter of whether or not they're allowed to transfer their IP and whether they want to, but of course that can happen. You're going to ask that every week, Apprentice. Can we run, crawl, crouch, and jump in the vault? I don't actually know the answer to that yet. The red ribbon is a roller coaster, yes. Bonobi, yes. Roller coaster. We want to do a series of VR style. One of the concepts that we've been talking to a couple of people about is, I'll use a roller coaster for an example. Most of you who have got a VR headset would have tried a VR roller coaster. Being able to do VR events in the virtual space and then being able to make that event take away with you is something that people are already doing. Do you see your scaling your teams across all ventures as being as a potential constraint for what you want to do? Juicy Fruit, the biggest when we started was the biggest challenge that you're going to have is finding talent. And that's a big problem for any business, especially if you want talent that can really push the envelope and take you far. And the thing is that the talent that we find is also very niche, right? It's we've got to go for more the people that have the industry experience in whatever the chosen field is on a global level, and also the blockchain, because finding the combination of those two things is impossible. And exist. So we need to really work hard on that. We've had up to 5 headhunters at the same time, agencies and individuals looking for people for us, and still do. We use a number of different recruitment agencies, headhunters, both in-house and external. And talent sourcing is one of our biggest focuses, but also we're not naive. We understand it's going to be one of our biggest challenges going forwards. And as a result, the group that does work with us and for us at the moment end up doing a lot more than a normal person should be doing, because we're filling a lot of holes until we find the right people. But we're also at a crucial stage where we'll hit an inflection point very soon. And what we can't do is just plug those holes with just anybody and then say, doesn't matter, bums on seats will do the job, because once this thing takes off, then you're going to have to undo all of that. So we need to make sure we've got the right people in place all the time. Wouldn't be better if companies who are interested in buying shops already know who are marquees in Metaverse, or they already know? Yeah, they already asked that, Ziggy. Everyone already asked that. They all want to know who else would be in there, why and what. And like I say, the first thing that we're going to announce is a bit of an interesting one, actually, but I'll wait for that. When will you guys move from e-commerce to integrate lifestyle? I need a room where I can chill with all the NFTs I bought. Actually, lots of people talk about having flexing areas. I think I can say it. We actually looked at the opportunity of having floating areas. Like if, say, for example, you were in Monaco, you'd be in a boat, right? So lifestyle pods or whatever, where you could actually host parties and watch the races and stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff we already talk about now. The bad day sale is only for 24 hours. Is there a limited amount of cogs available during this time? It's unlimited for the 24 hours. But after the 24 hours is over, it's done. These ads are raising graphical expectations of the vault. Yeah, we realise that, Phantom, and understand that it's got to be 100% correct and right. And we've told everybody very clearly from the start that Calanova will go first. And what we'll do is we understand how big this is going to be. And I've put my hand on my heart and I've said we probably underestimated how fast it would move in the beginning, as far as like the industry take up and the interest. So that's why we decided to get everything out, but also make sure that we roll this out bit by bit, because it is mammoth. It's massive. Very, very good. I understand that from the difference between the MVP and then the final product, when we call it non-beta, will be light years difference. I said, our transportation vault, can we earn as a driver? Not at this stage, apprentice. But there is the possibility to earn as a transportation system owner. Will shop buyers be able to walk around in VR to see what they're buying, bidding on during the auction, or will it just be a 2D map? It'll be the latter. You won't be able to walk around in VR. Not at this stage. Will walking into a shop be seamless, or will there be a loading screen? So XP, once this thing's up, that's what the SkyTrains are for, so that when you actually go on a train from the hub to one of the quarters, that gives the quarter time to load, so that it's a much more seamless experience. And the guys that we're working with, they're pretty tech savvy as far as real-time rendering is concerned as well. No, JD Crypto, there's not an ad for the law, but there's an ad that talks more about the gaming side of things. Doesn't tell a lot, but it just gives you, it's a good whistle wetter. So you're going to sell the rail on the vault. Okay, so Urban Gecko, we have talked about from the beginning. If people were around when we first started announcing the metaverse, people asked whether they'd be able to have fractional ownership in things, and it is something that we're seriously considering as far as like entertainment halls and transportation systems and stuff like that. If you could have partial ownership, you could earn partial earnings from that. So Uber is on board, not at this stage, mate. We are talking to transportation people, though. The shop sale and transportation, no, anything that we do, like even if we do facility sales that would not be part of this normal shop sale. Pogu and hovercraft renting. Renting is going to be a big part of what NFTs are, full stop, in not just our ecosystem, but all ecosystems going forwards for sure and certain. Is there more or less interest by marquee clients to get a shop in the vault than you expected some months ago? I think the interest is definitely ramping up, PJ, but what's difficult is getting them to so most of them want their hands held, obviously, but what I'm finding is the conversations that I have are more about can you take the rights to what we have or do what who we are, so that because we don't know how to operate that stuff. So can you help us? So also people worry about what will be allowed there, what brands will be allowed, what type of shenanigans will be allowed. So I think the interest is definitely getting more and more. People are just cautious as to what they're committing to. Will there be animals or insects in the vault? There can definitely be animals. If we buy Bad Days Cogs via RFOX, confirming that the con will be higher mint number.
Packs will not be manually dropped to the wallet. You'll get it after confirmation of payment.
What company are you working with in the vault? Well, TKL, I hope we're going to end up working with a lot of companies from all different genres and walks of life. So we'll explain that. The first announcement or first marquee actually is a very it's a cluster, so it's pretty cool actually. So I'll just wait. I won't say anything more than that, or I'll get muted. When will RFOX become the currency of Vietnam? I think the Vietnam government is starting to sort of sounds like they're starting to sort of open up their they're warming up to the potential of at least considering cryptocurrencies, but whether that's going to be a virtual dong or allowing other cryptocurrencies, I don't know. But at this particular point in time, you're not allowed to use anything that replaces the dong, so you have to use the dong. Do you get a hoverboard for free, and the ones you need to buy will be faster or slower ones? So, Urban Gecko, we're still working on that, but we're also talking to some people in relation to, obviously there's some people that might not actually be suited to, want to, or able to do a shop for whatever reason. There is only 8 of them. So branding stuff like NFT releases that are hoverboards that are rarer and therefore more expensive and do different things is definitely a very strong possibility. RFOX Finance, just wait a very short period of time. We've already got some plans and some next steps for that, but I'll wait for that announcement. I'm trying not to spoil things or overpromise. I want to make sure that we underpromise and overdeliver. Pete just said there will be a grub racing track. That'd be pretty cool. I know some people that do monkeys and some people that do, I don't know if it's rhinoceroses or hippopotamuses. They're doing some sort of weird, like Hungry Hippos real race. Very interesting. So RFOX purchase will be exactly the same as Wax. Nice. BSC. Are there any brands known for footwear? I'm not answering that. Chauncey, nice try. When the marquee clients are announced, what type of businesses would you hope to join the metaverse? Well, that's a very good question, JD. I don't know. We've got no idea who's going to buy in the sale. We've got absolutely no idea who's going to buy. If you take a very small sample size, which is not statistically accurate, on what we think might happen, you would get you're going to get a lot of people that are trying to flip it or buy the land and see that the marketing and the advertising and attention ramps up and then try and flip it to somebody else. You've got a small percentage that want to be landlords, and then you've got another relatively similar percentage that want to own and operate a shop. So very hard to know, but I think the poll that we did had nearly 60% of people were the of the ones that we're going to buy or whatever, we're going to try and hodl it for gains. I presume we're going to get a fair few NFT businesses just by the nature of where the industry is at this particular point in time, but I'm not 100% sure. How did you vote today on a question which month 1 billion market cap for RFOX? No comment. Will there be some waiting line if too many people will want to enter the vault at the same time? We have covered that a few times, George 74. At this stage, we don't believe there will be, but obviously, if it becomes like ridiculously popular, I don't actually know. We've fielded that question, so I'll try and get it answered for you. I don't know if you know, Pete, but as far as I know,
multiple instances. So if you guys play games, you'll know that there's a concept of instances.
Will we be able to walk around the vault this year? Yes. Did anyone guess the name of that shop in the vault? No, they haven't yet. And we're nearly out of time. I mean, it's going to be announced soon. I don't think anybody's even got remotely close to it either. Can we name one external game that wants to integrate cogs? We're about to announce some people that we're working with, Princess Shop, they're going to start doing NFTs, and that could lead to anything. If you buy one and do it, why not? There could be a Princess Shop. You never know. When would you feel the first vault shop sale is a failure at a certain average price per shop or lack of interest? That's a good question. I think, as far as I'm concerned, I'd do it more on probably cost per shop, but ultimately the first one's they're gonna gain momentum as time goes on, of course, and the marketing and advertising picks up and more people hear about it. But I think with the limited number, I don't think there's going to be any shortage of interest. It's just going to be a matter of what people pay. What is the name we need to guess? Oh, Rocket Full. It was a competition we've been running for a couple of weeks. It's a picture of a building in the metaverse, and you've got to guess what it is. I can't give you any clues. All I can say is that it's related to the first client. If someone owns a shop but doesn't utilize it, to fix that, would it be something you would compensate owner for fair value of shop to take it back? Yeah, so we're working on that legally now. So technically speaking, we want to enforce a rule that you have to have the shop up and operational within 7 days of the vault going live, and we'll give a bit of support and assistance. And then if people just wanted to sit on their NFTs and say, nah, screw it, we have to be able to ensure that someone's in that shop operating that shop. So we're finishing and finalising those terms and conditions now. But ultimately, that's another thing that the marquee clients worry about is they don't want holes everywhere. They want vibrancy and they want lots of bustling businesses and stuff. So, and quartermasters will get a percentage of the take. So it's important that quartermasters also have revenue coming through. So we want to make sure that people are filling the shops and that they're open and rented out if those people don't do anything with them. Are you able to tell us who the designers of the vaults are? I remember you saying Marvel designers. We're going to announce that very shortly. We ask every week when we can announce. So we know that we'll be able to announce before the sale for sure. No plans to release a RedFOX VR headset in the vault shop yet, Light Super, but that's not to say that we won't. I think the technology is still very, very early. And as was stated, Facebook actually lose money on every Oculus headset. So it's more of a land grab at the moment. So I think once the technology becomes cheaper and more readily available, I think it's definitely something to look into for sure. I'm CEO of a company that owns that secret vault building. Really, that's nice of you. Okay, then we can announce it. George 74's made that clear. Newbie question: is there a limit to the number of Marvel Bad Days cogs that will be released within 24 hours on 28th of August, or is it just time limit, mate? Quartermaster role is pretty involved. Do you think it will be tricky to find quartermasters that excel? Possibly, Juicy Fruit. It depends on a couple of things, right? One, we don't actually know yet because this is a new thing and a new model. And I think it would also largely depend on the quarter that you're in to how demanding those customers are. But we've all pretty much come to the conclusion that we don't think one person will be able to run a quarter by themselves. It's going to be impossible with all the demands and what's going on and everything. I think it'll be very difficult to run it as one person. They should probably be able to Word and PowerPoint. Yeah, for sure. We're working out the best systems for tickets and SLAs and all the rest of it now. Exciting couple of weeks ahead. Crazy if you think about all the things that are on the agenda. Yeah, it makes your head hurt, PJ, to be honest. It's a lot of stuff going on, which is great, but a lot of little fiddly pieces and a lot of things that have to come together. And you try and put all your ducks in a row and you try and put them in order, and then the sequence keeps changing because something's ready before it should be and other things are ready after they should be. So it's a continual game of shuffling and checkers, but it's all part of the fun. Galaxy Store. Appreciate you coming on here, usual mate. Can tell you guys are flat out? Yeah, it's very full on at the moment, but it's exciting, because we actually get to start showing you stuff and get to bring you stuff, and things are happening. You remember it's been a year now for COGS, and we always said, soon we'll have IP and we'll be able to have partners and all the rest of it. So all of the things that we've talked about are happening. Some of them slower than we would have liked, others faster. But ultimately, we couldn't be happier with the way it's all coming together, that's for sure. Does it look like the streaming platform will be ready for Miss Universe? If yes, are contestants ready to be trained to use the platform? Yes, the training was today, I think, for getting it all set up. And then as far as the contestants being trained to use the platform, we're in the pros of setting up profiles for them. So yes, it will be ready. Probably create a standard template for quartermaster data collection and reporting. Yeah, for sure, mate, for 100% for sure. We are, of course, going to make sure that there's lots of standardization across that stuff. Good question. Which venture do you think will first move RFOX market in the green? Probably the gaming, because of just what it is and the amount of hype around it, gaming and stuff at the moment. And I think one thing that people that are not from this part of the world would probably wouldn't appreciate, is that everybody's looking for the next Axie. Everybody's praying that there is a free to play to earn game that comes out that has a lower barrier of entry. So it will be evident very, very quickly and shortly by who is jumping on to what we're doing, that shows you that this is what people are looking for and waiting for sure. So it's a lot of stress and pressure on the games team, obviously, because they know what's expected and they know exactly what is wanted and needed. So scaling and all the rest of it is very, very important. When do you plan to sell the other 3 quarters? So we plan to do them. We're just working out the dates now, but we want to stagger them prior to the release. So more than likely around about a month apart. How does it feel seeing all the years of thought, planning, and design finally come together? Yeah, absolutely, Crypto J. But also, it's like, if you've ever trained to do a job or something like that, you go through training and then you sit down in your chair or in your role and you go to start and you think, shit, can I remember any of the stuff that I've been taken through, and it all becomes a bit daunting when the light switch goes on. So for us, it's more a matter of it's physically impossible to have checklists to make sure that we've covered all the things that we're trying to cover. So a lot of it is very much a matter of excitement coupled with being extremely daunting, but we're up for it. We're ready for the challenge. We love it. Are you confident RedFOX Labs will become a $1 billion company within the next 12 months? Am I? Supremely confident. Has RFOX Games spoken to YGG team yet? I can't spoil that, but all I can say is it's a very small world. Do you think players will all migrate simply to which whichever game is currently playing the most. How do we keep the players and maintain sustainable P2E? That's a good question. I think we've got a combination at the moment, Juicy Fruit, and the combination at the moment is we're still very much coming out of an NFT collection mindset and trying to flip NFTs that are worth something. What Axie's done is really brought into the fray a token appreciating that's attached to it as well. So we're still very much of the mindset of, if I buy those NFTs or tokens as a result of that game and that ecosystem, that token and those NFTs will both go up together. But what we will see very shortly, especially when you're targeting Southeast Asian markets, is a switch to, I can just pick up this game, play it, and make income. And that income might not be considered to be a huge amount to the Western world, but here it is. And what I think you'll see is a very quick transition to gamers being able to earn from playing games, spending time that they would otherwise be spending playing something that they're not getting a return for. And then those guys will then have the magical introduction to crypto and NFTs and work out that that's the way the money comes in. So they'll start looking at it as well. So it's like onboarding a whole new generation of users into crypto and NFTs. Mike Nova talks a lot about Luna on Twitter and was today talking on CNBC about NFTs. When will he begin mentioning and talking about his investment in RedFOX Labs? I think that all of those guys are obviously being stock listed and people at those types of levels. What they look for is the product to come out and traction, and then they know that they can put their foot down, and anything until then is a risk for these people, right? There is already a YGG room here. Is there? Fancy that. Just got myself some racing cars, anticipating. Growlick, I collected a lot of those. You try and find any of the mint. Is that a mint 1 foil? Mint 3. Okay, if you're looking for the mint 1 foils, they're probably with me. I bought them all when they were cheap. I noticed a lot of channels talk about NFT games and metaverses and everything except RFOX. Are they deliberately turning a blind eye or just ignorant? I think a lot of people don't know yet. I mean, there's we've just started the marketing campaigns and stuff now, and a lot of people we've said this for a long time. We've flown under the radar. We've gone in stealth mode. We tried to just build, and now we're just popping up, and we're making sure that we had something that was worth talking about and showing. So I think it's more of a tactic thing. I think if you have a look at a lot of the people that are talking about doing huge NFT projects or games or metaverses or whatever, they're years away, a lot of them. So it's all about selling the idea and the dream of it, whereas where we've had a big head start on everybody. And I think that we also knew that being a relatively small team and not having the type of budget that some of these people have got coming in, like your Facebooks and stuff, you have to sort of just put your head down, your bum up, and you've got to build, and you've got to build as fast as you can, as much as you can before the crowd comes, because those guys are capable of moving at absolute warp speed. So we've just got to now that we're closer to the finish line, we can start to really sort of bang the pots and pans, make a bit of a noise. How big do we presume our staff will be in a year or two from now? Untold. It's hard to say, actually. Like I said, we'll try and stick to 30 at the core level for headquarters, which we're not at yet. But then the ventures will all have their own teams as well. And I mean, it's quite possible that games could easily get to, 30 or 40 people in a very quick time. And media will definitely get to that number pretty quickly. I think it's possible to have, across all of the ventures, it's possible to have at least a couple of hundred in the next 6 months or so, easily. Is there an incentivized plan for Axie players to be onboarded to RFOX? It's a good question. One of the big things we're going to have to do is be an attacker brand and also win across players from other ecosystems for sure and certain. So that's something that we've done a lot in our previous experience with the companies that we've run. So win-backs, referrals, retentions, all of that stuff is going to be a big focus for us, and it's something that we're pretty good at. There are 5 tickets to the Vault Grand Prix. In regard to the third edition tubing, will RedFOX consider changing the current 25 wax tube price to maybe a bigger $8, especially now that wax is recently listed on Binance?
On Friday.
Okay, so anything I missed so far? Yes, but because it's getting close, we have to start. It seems like it'll be easier for Slam players to make money per hour than if they were playing Axie. Yes, potentially. And I think that you're going to get a lot of players. And I think obviously we have a big audience in Myanmar as well. And Myanmar is a market that hasn't really been tapped by games yet, by play to earn or crypto games. So when we're talking to people over there, the roads are pretty much unpaved. So also the average daily earnings there are considerably lower than a lot of the other countries in Southeast Asia. So the types of rewards that we're talking would just be phenomenal for people in that area. And we've got big audiences there, obviously, more than 13 million followers. So which ad did everyone like better, the first or the second ad? I'm interested to hear feedback. Second, the princess one. Second, both. Second, first, second, and two, second. First, but second had the avatar. Yeah, it's definitely, they're both really, really good. I think the third one's going to be really interesting because the third one's sort of completely different. And it's not supposed to be the same. It's completely different. How long will the third ad be? Actually, at the moment, like, we've only seen the first iteration, and that was like very long. Actually, it was like 2 minutes 35 because it was like a gaming ad, so it was very long.
What's the princess ad?
Is that you, Sky? So no problem. Hello, Sky. That's the big princess fan. When billboard ads, yeah. So that's going to be part of media, as we've got so much other stuff on, and at the moment the focus for the next few days is for the bad days for COGS, obviously. But next week we've also got media coming away. So media, we'll talk a lot about that type of stuff with billboard ads. So the billboard ads will be in there pretty much from the get-go, and the media team will be working pretty hard getting everything set up, both from the RFOX TV, RFOX Media for adverts. Oh, we've got a bit of feedback there, and the guys from media have also got a lot of experience in content promotion. Pretty exciting what they're going to be putting together. The media team's platforms is pretty bloody exciting, and I don't think there's anything quite like it in the space. And the question that we got a long time ago is, if you bought the media company all that time ago, back in February and all the rest of it, why have we not seen RFOX Media launch yet? But you're going to see why, because it has a lot of tie-ins to the other ventures. I'm looking really, really forward to explaining how that all works to you and showing you what it is. It's just one of those other things that's flying under the radar, and it's just going to pop up and everyone's going to say, where the hell did that come from? So I'm very excited for what they're doing, extremely excited. They've already got some big announcements and partnerships and stuff, so it's very, very exciting, but I don't want to spoil the thunder until next week. Yeah, so Juicy Fruit, that's what it's supposed to be. The second one was supposed to be an explainer ad. So exactly right. It's supposed to be an evergreen sort of intro, and if you showed that, people would say, oh, I get what they're doing. And that's the one thing that people, and that's largely our fault. We've been unable to sort of demonstrate properly what it is that we do as a tie-in. And for a long time, a lot of people in our community were saying, I get each of the ventures kind of, and I get them individually, and how will they all work together and stuff. And I think people are finally starting to see that come together. And now we've got to a point where we can actually explain it, but show it in a very succinct way. And that's part of the journey. I mean, if you go back to when we began and what we were doing, you'd realize that we just couldn't do what we're showing you today because it was way too early. So very, very excited and proud to. I think, to be honest, I think most of the people that work on our team would be of the same opinion, and that is this is the thing that we're going to be the most. We're already and going to be the most proud of as far as what we've ever achieved. So very much looking forward to this. So yeah, will you continue to do more ads after the land sale? That's a good question. We've pretty much got a good system going now, and we've got the two ads were made by two different companies that we're working with, and we were really sort of trying to work out what we like the best and what look and feel and style. And ultimately, we talked to the other ventures and said that's the benchmark. So when you bring out ads, you have to be bettering that and one-upping every time you bring out an ad. So yes, we plan to do explainer ads like that for all of the different ventures. So not just an ecosystem roll-up, but an ad for each of the ventures. So that will come. How much a Coggy is going for? 0.3 of an ETH. Wow. We should get a new ad every month because it's so much fun. Yeah, it is fun, George, isn't it? It's fun for us. I sat there during the preview waiting for the premiere to tick over and play, and I was like, I can't wait for this. This is going to be awesome. And then I was thinking, this is the stuff that goes through your mind when you release stuff. You think, what if the ad's loaded up wrong? What happens if the sound sequence doesn't work? What happens if this goes wrong? And you just then you start going from I'm really enjoying it and anticipating an amazing thing to freaking the hell out. But that shows you care. Obviously, you've got to be nervous before anything goes live.
I am just agitated that I cannot share that ahead of time. It's like it's stabbing me inside. I don't want to speak about it.
Well, I think Wade and King of Cogs will tell you that I'm pretty much unbearable to be around at the launch of anything because I pace and I mutter and I always assume the worst and get pleasantly surprised. But I find it really, really, really nerve-wracking. But the fact is that I learned at a very young age, if you don't feel that way, you don't care enough. Oh, have we seen a commercial increase since the launch of the ads? For sure. 100%. Can you please tell us the viewer stats of the ad with 211,000? What do you mean, Phantom? You mean where? I haven't watched the whole ad. So we get charged when you do the advert side for anything over 30 seconds of the 40, I think it's 43 or 47 seconds. And we were getting charged at a rate of 69.3%. So we're just confirming those numbers, but 69.3% to the 30-second mark, which is not bad if you consider that that's an ad. And I mean, I scratch my head because I think to myself, if I'm watching something and an ad comes on, I'll be buggered if I'm going to watch it for 30 seconds. I skip it when I can skip it after 4 seconds or whatever it is and say, bloody hell, these ads suck. But so the fact that people are watching it to that just shocks me, to be honest. If only 20 of the 25 shop plots sells, what happens to the unsold 5? I think I can safely say, Ninja, that is not going to happen. Let me put it this way. If you could buy a shop for $5,000, even if you had no intention of opening up a shop, would you think that you would be able to get more than $5,000 for it once the shop sale's finished? I think that's your answer to the fact that none of them are not going to sell. It's just a matter of what they sell for, and that's the part nobody knows. When community pool for a shop, let's go. Gosh, how many do we actually know of now, Pete? I think there was about 4 floating around through here in Telegram, and I think we found out about another 2.
I personally know of that 3. So the 3 that I know of, that is the one that people have DM'd me about it. I think some of ours, what you know and what I know, overlap. The one I told you about it yesterday, that one is pretty new, I guess. But yeah, there's definitely interest.
There was 4, and if that's a new one, then there's at least 5. So right. Yeah, there could be more. I don't know. I've got no idea because some of them wouldn't talk to us about it, obviously, as well. But we do occasionally get people come to us and say, "Are you going to be mediating the pools?" And we keep saying no. And they say, "Well, who's doing the pool? How does it work?" And we say, "Don't know. Ask the people doing the pools." We've had internal conversations and asked how people would govern or police that. Is it going to be sharded, or how are they going to do it? But that's entirely up to the people that run the pools. 4,000 players will be let into the beta for the play to earn testing that begins September 3. No more resets after the reset on the third beta test. Same reward for 100 games played and rewards for highest player. Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that, okay, so Hanford's just said that, so it's obviously public that play to earn is kicking off. And that will be done with yeah, I'll let Fads do that on Friday. That's his thing to tell. But it's extremely encouraging to see that they're going straight into larger scale testing for play to earn, because going back to the previous question of has there been more commercial interest, the amount of people that want to play far exceed the number of people that are going to be allowed in. And then we've got some other announcements coming up with media that will have close to 100,000 people a day interested in playing. So it's a matter of how we facilitate all of that stuff and combine it. So it's going to be very, very full on. And that's why they need to make sure that all the play to earn model, system, structure, and everything works, and it can be scaled at a rapid rate, because it's going to take off. I think there probably is 25 people in the call that are willing to pay 5,000. There you go, Gralik. You'll put a statue on them as long as you're selling something. Well, people pay bloody 3.7 million for a bloody crypto punk. If I can buy a shop for 5,000, I'd buy it. Yeah, I'm sure. I've got no doubt that it's going to be a lot more than 5,000, but what, I've got absolutely no idea, because they're going to have to buy it in RFOX, don't forget. So that's the part that makes it really interesting. 5 people on the call have at least 250k. So I'm not sure if they went for 250k each. I'd be like, absolutely. I'd say that would. People keep asking me what's the figure I have in mind, and I keep saying, I don't really want to say. But I think it could easily hit. I don't want to say. There are consecutive auctions, so some of these will probably be multiple shops, depending on how. Yep, exactly right. Oh shit! Indeed, Gina.
Can I share? Can I share what some of the pool people are telling me?
Well, that's up to you and the pool people. Yeah,
they're accumulating about 100k. So
that's what I think. All right, you've said it. I think if it went for that, I would. If they went for that,
I think they're just accumulating 100k. Doesn't mean that it's going to go for 100k.
No. But what I'm saying is, if it went for 100k, I would say that is an amazing success. But I would assume, regardless of what happens in the first, that the second, third, and fourth, the sale prices are obviously going to go up and up and up, because it'll get more traction and more people will buy at it. So that is DGen Hour. So I will hand you over. Thank you very much for attending. Glad you liked the ad, and looking forward to updating you with so much stuff. By the time we talk again next week, there'll be a ton of stuff on the table, and I can't wait to share and show you it. So have a great week, guys, and speak to you very shortly.